Tech fans, what's going on, man? Hope y'all are doing well. I know it's been a lot of commitments, man. I got to cover all of them, so I got y'all. I've just been busy. Georgia Tech 707, I had to do yesterday, and much more, man, putting this recruiting show together, man. But I got y'all, man. We're going to talk about all the big commitments. Tech is going to get definitely more. They're trying to flip some guys as well, as we've seen this past week. But they're not done. They're trying to really flip and turn this into an elite class, and the coaching staff is doing an outstanding job, man. But let's talk about this commitment right here, Kentrell Davis, man. I know Memphis was in there for him and several others, but the kid is really good, man. I got a chance to see him up close and personal last year at the Hoover 707, and he was doing his thing, man. Very long, athletic receiver, and I think we see that same trend. As you can see with Kentrell Davis, he's 6'3", 180, right? So you're seeing that trend of the 6'3", 6'4", high caliber type of receiver. Now, they recently got one I'll talk about in another video, Isaac Aborta, who is 6 foot 180 out of Raven Gap, right? But that same kind of theme, y'all, to be honest with you, in terms of what they're kind of recruiting and what they're looking at the receiver position, right? Sometimes you'll see, smaller slot guys, but they're not doing that. They're going big, and they're getting really athletic guys that, one, can high point the football, two, they're dynamic in open space, which Kentrell is, and they're getting guys that win at a high level. They won their first championship, I believe, in their program history this past year. Him, Naeem Alford, obviously they had Chancellor Sparks, so many guys that was elite at Parker this past year. Vaughn in Cleveland, loaded. So obviously this guy knows how to win and win at a high level. So an elite get for Georgia Tech. Now it's not going to look like it in terms of the rankings. It ain't a blue chip prospect, but the kid can play, and I think that's what Georgia Tech's been valuing. This broke while I was at the 707, but they're just looking to get guys that can fit into the scheme of a Buster Faulkner, that can fit and get developed by Coach Trent McKnight. So I think that's very, very important for them, something they value, and I think Kentrell can bring that to the table. So now the Yellow Jackets, y'all, they're up to 4 receivers. I don't know how many more they'll take. I think they may take one more, maybe. And the one more is going to be a special caliber guy, right? We know Craig Dandridge is down to his final 6. He's going to officially announce his commitment on June. Saying, yeah, it's going to have to be a special caliber player for them to get one more at this position. But I think they're pretty solid. They're pretty locked in. I don't see it unless it's like that one special caliber player. And I think that would be Dandridge. Like, who else would you want besides him? And I seen it at 707, y'all. He was cooking. And he had his Georgia Tech gear on, had obviously the head sleeve on. He had obviously the gloves on. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if they can change his mind, right? If they can sway him from obviously that 6 that he has obviously at the top. So it's going to be very intriguing, man. I'm excited. It should be a lot of fun to see how this class comes out. But I think this class is going to surprise a lot of people. And I think this coaching staff, they know who they want. They know who they're trying to flip. And I think this could be a class you see like sneak into that top 25 again. Now, it's going to be work. It's going to be effort. But there's some guys that they're targeting that could be, really elite for them moving forward. And I think they realize that. I think they see that. And they're going to try. One more I wanted to talk about was Lasai Jackson. Got a chance to see him, and he is long, athletic corner. Would be really good for them in the future. Staff, again, is very high on him. They like what he could bring to the table. They like his how technically sound he was. And he made plays all day yesterday. I'll probably share a little bit later on my X account, just him wearing, obviously, the Georgia Tech gloves. But that's the guy they really want. Obviously, I've heard he feels very good about the Jackets. That would be an elite get for them because he's a 4-star prospect, blue chipper. So they got 2 right now. If Tech can get about 4 to 5, maybe 5 to 6 in this window, you definitely could see it. And we're going to see the tightening of the screws here pretty soon. And the reason why I say that, y'all, this is the last week of OV season, right? This is it. No more OVs, right? And then it's a dead period for 2 months. So they cannot talk to these coaches anymore for over 2 months, right? And then you're going to see them obviously reopen it when the season starts, them coming on campus, them getting obviously fall visits, all that good stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that's my thoughts. Latest, get Kentrell Davis, a really good wide receiver. I will have more on the channel talking about the flip, obviously talking about them landing Isaac Aborta and break all that down. But appreciate y'all always tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on the tube. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok.